Welcome to Moose Plays, everyone. I'm the Liquor Moose, and today we will be going over the Toronto Razor Leafs draft analysis for Season 6 of DGBA Poison Point Division. Yeah, I already recorded this yesterday. I could definitely tell that I was rusty in the way that I was presenting stuff, and I just thought I'd give it a re-record today. But yeah, the rust was definitely there. I have to acknowledge that. So it's been a while since I've actually uploaded some real Pokemon content, and there are various reasons for that, including but not limited to not being in a very good mental state, as well as my recording mic breaking. But yeah, we're back. There's finally a new generation, and yeah, I'm really excited to play some leagues and hopefully play some very entertaining battles and present them all to you. So to start with that, we have the DGBA Poison Point Division. So this is the Discord Global Battle Association, run by Jack. Most of you know him as Jack from the Crusaders in the DPL. I played against him once in Season 1 of DPL. He unfortunately got the upper hand on us, but yeah, I think the main reason I got in was because of my good pal Chess. He is also an admin in this league, so I guess thank you, Chess. And yeah, so we're in Poison Point Division, which is their Division 2. So luckily, they have 3 divisions, so luckily we were able to get into the middle one when we applied. And yeah, I'm not going to go over too many mechanical changes from Gen 7 to Gen 8. If you want to figure that out, if you're brand new to competitive Pokemon for whatever reason, first of all, hi, how you doing? But yeah, I'm not really here to talk about that. I guess if you have questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. But let's just start talking about the league itself. So this was a National Dex league, which was one of the main reasons I wanted to join into this season of DGBA. I don't really have much of an interest in playing a Galar-only league, so I was really happy to hear what DGBA was doing National Dex, so I decided to join in. Since this is a brand new generation, they are doing a free draft, or I guess they did have a free draft, which is definitely the right call. It's definitely better to like not rank any of the new Pokemon and just kind of let everyone do their thing. The only thing is, it leads to a lot of really insane drafts, including my own. I'm not gonna lie, I think my draft is pretty messed up. But there are definitely some more messed up ones than mine, which is honestly kind of impressive. But yeah, alright, so now that we're gone through, right, Megas are allowed, Z-moves are banned, Gigantamax and Dynamaxing are both banned, which is really unfortunate. I was hoping that there would be some kind of way to figure out, oh, like, we can play with this, but no, it's just like, it's just way too good after a month. Like, even Smogon ended up banning it from OU, so yeah, definitely glad to not see it in Draft League. But yeah, so now, going into the actual draft itself, I ended up with the 3rd overall pick, which was really, really nice. First overall, I believe, was Napi, and he took Mew, and then 2nd overall was Cena, and he took Zygarde 50. I found the Zygarde a little bit weird, but then when I thought about it with HP Ice being gone, it did make a lot more sense. I don't know. I'm a little surprised he took that instead of something new. For example, like what I got when I knew that when I saw that I had 3rd overall pick, I was just like praying to God that the one thing that I wanted to use from Galar dropped to me, and I am very glad to say that the Toronto Razor Leafs with the 3rd overall pick drafted the big bad Dragapult, our glory banger. By the way, I'm doing this draft analysis on Showdown because for whatever reason, the game's been out a month and Game Freak just hasn't given us official artwork on all of the new Pokemon, so I get to be a pleb and do it on Showdown instead. But yeah, Dragapult, what can I say about this thing? Like, Dragon Ghost is insane offensive typing. 2 really good abilities, Infiltrator and Clear Body, all have good presence. Curse Body, you're probably never going to run it when you have these 2 options. But yeah, I mean, just look at the speed is already good enough. And like, this thing hasn't quite hit Landorus T numbers yet, but this is the #1 thing being used in OU right now. The number of sets you can run with Dragapult with its moves is just insane. And just having something that provides this much offensive presence on a team, in my opinion, was worth a 3rd overall pick. I don't know if it actually is, but also, this is a brand new generation, so it's kind of hard to determine where this should go in a draft. But one thing I could say with certainty was that there is no way this thing was coming back to me if I passed up on it. Someone was definitely grabbing this in the 1st round. It's definitely that good. It's definitely 1st round worthy. So yeah, I got Dragapult, and then I had to wait a really long time for the rest of to get my 2nd and 3rd picks. For the next few picks, I'm going to talk about them in pairs because I was thinking about because the way it works, it is a snake style draft. Jesus. So I had to wait a really long time, and then when it came back to me on the way back, I had 2 picks basically right in a row. I got to make 1 pick, and then had to wait 4 picks for the 2 people behind me, and then I got to pick again. So for the next little bit, I'm going to talk about my picks in pairs. So looking at Dragapult right now, the main things that are going to be switching into it are Steel and Dark types for sure, to try to resist both of Dragapult's stabs. So I wanted something that could A, break for it, and B, like, take advantage of the things also being broken, and I ended up going with Infernape and Mega Gardevoir in that order. I originally, when I thought about drafting Dragapult, when I was thinking about, like, you know, what I wanted to do in this draft, Mega Gardevoir and Dragapult together was definitely the things that I thought about the most. I was originally going to get somewhere in this draft Univ and Darmanitan, as that was a fire type that could break steels, but then I kind of thought, you know, I want to break dark types as well, and I kind of talked myself into taking Infernape, and in my opinion, Infernape was less likely to make it back to me. I know, again, there was only 4 picks to wait, but I figured at this point, like, I might as well just take the thing that I think would go before, you know, the other thing. So I thought Infernape would go first. So anyways, what is there to say about Infernape? I've only had this one other time in draft, and I absolutely loved it, even though the team it was on was a little bit underwhelming. Infernape itself definitely stood up above the rest of the team. And yeah, I'm really excited to use this thing again. This thing just does, like, literally everything you want it to do. Mega Gardevoir, I've only used in one tour before, in Santa Smackdown 2018. But again, it overperformed in that tour. It was by far my favorite Pokemon to build with in that tour, and I cannot wait to use it for a full season. It is definitely going to appreciate Infernape breaking down steels for Mega Gardevoir to just go nuts. And yeah, so those were the first 3 picks. Now, looking at these 3, there were a few things that I definitely wanted with my next 2 pairs of picks. The first thing was, I mean, if you look at this team, it's pretty clear. Like, a Scarf Ghost type is just going to run through this team, like, no questions asked. So I wanted a good Ghost Resist, which was basically a Dark type, and I also wanted Hazards, because at this point, like, I normally like to take a good Hazard user within, like, the first 4 picks, usually, just have something really, really reliable to always set them. At this point, Infernape is my only rocker, and I know it's only 3 picks in, but, like, Infernape is obviously not going to want to run rocks every week. So with my next 2 picks, I tried to address those 2 problems, and I ended up going with Mandibuzz and Nidoqueen. Again, same thought process with, like, the order. Like, Nidoqueen in the 4th round would have looked a little bit better than Mandibuzz in the 4th round, but again, both the 2 people behind me when it was in the 4th round, when it was coming on the way back, they already had ground types, so I figured it was less likely that they would take Nidoqueen, but if they did take Nidoqueen, then Nidoking was always there, and even worst case, I could have always grabbed Nihilego. So anyways, I took Mandibuzz first, and I've never used, no, that's a lie, I've used Mandibuzz once before in draft, in one single battle, because I ended up taking over in Hive Weedle for Ashy, and he had Mandibuzz on that roster that I inherited. I used it for the one game that I took over for the week 4, and then I ended up dropping it because I made a bunch of changes and just Mandibuzz didn't fit the team anymore. But here, I think I really like it. Big Pex is like an okay ability, but you're mostly using Overcoat. But like, just being a bulky pivot and being able to like have a decently fast taunt on a wall with base 80 speed, I think Mandibuzz is just going to fit well and definitely patches up the pretty big ghost weakness that I was building with my first 3 picks. And again, for Nidoqueen, it has been a hot minute since I've used Nidoqueen. It has been since literally my first ever draft season. But yeah, Nidoqueen just like ended up turning into one of the most reliable Pokemon you could ever draft last generation. I'm sure things are going to stay the same. Like, I mean, it could be offensive or defensive. It's just like Nidoqueen, everyone knows what Nidoqueen does. It's very versatile for, like, I mean, usually it's around like tier 3 or like 12, 13 points in point-based draft. Nidoqueen is just like really, really good. Everyone knows what it does. So now we have our first 5 picks, and again, I kind of want to look at 2 Pokemon in a row, only because when I was looking at the draft board, a lot of the grass and water types were starting to go, and there were very specific ones I wanted with this draft. I didn't really want something like things super duper passive for the water type, because usually that lets in a really offensive a really offensive fighting type to try to set up and basically like hope if they don't get burned on your Scald, they can essentially just win. And for the grass type, I was also pretty particular because, again, with the whole hidden power being gone, you can't just get like a low budget grass type and slap HP Ice on it and expect it to check a Zygarde anymore. That was usually what I did because it was like a relatively free, to use Magic terms, it was a free splash. But yeah, with it hidden power being gone, you can't rely on a low budget grass type to just like kill a Zygarde. That's just not going to work anymore. So with the next two picks, I ended up going with my Grass and Water core, which I ended up taking Serena and Melodic. So let's talk about Serena first. Serena adds spin to this team. While like I wasn't really having a hazard weakness, all it really does with having spin is just making sure that I don't have to run defog on Mandibuzz every week, which is really nice. And then also this thing isn't super duper passive either. Like 120 is definitely not a passive attack stat, and then just having like really good defense stats, a little bit middling in HP, but that's definitely fine. And yeah, like a good enough move pool where like if I really want to, I can run offensive Serena sets, and as well I can just be an offensive spinner set, because now rapid spin increases your speed by 1 stage, so I can honestly just like if I really wanted to just run rapid spin and then 3 attacks and then just have a really good offensive spinner in Serena. And on top of that, Melodic in the next round, again same thought process like on order, just I thought Melodic was more likely to fall back to me than Serena was, but yeah, big reason for Melodic, this was like basically the only water type I wanted, because again with the whole Zygarde thing, like to be fair, Serena isn't exactly a fantastic check to Zygarde. It does get play rough, so it can hurt it, but I kind of doubt that play rough from this is going to be to a KOing Zygarde 50s, because Zygarde 50s is a pretty chonky boy. But Melodic with Flame Orb is just like probably the best physical sponge in the game. I don't know, like I can't really think offhand anything else better. And then also having 100 special attack in conjunction with like Ice Beam, which is way stronger than Hidden Power Ice, still makes this a pretty decent check to Zygarde 50, and then just to any other physical sponge if I need it. But I think I can work with kind of the creative. I think I can get a little creative with this. I'm really excited. Again, I've only used this in one tour, which was also the same tour I used Mega Gardevoir in. And yeah, I'm really happy to have Melodic on the team, and right now I'm really liking the look of my team. It's like I've come to notice over the years that I'm more like, I'm more in love with like bulky offense than really I am with like pure balance. I'm kind of like somewhere in the middle there. But yeah, so looking at the next pick, I'm going to stop talking about them in pairs. I'm just going to stop talking about my picks in pairs now, because at this point, it didn't really matter the order. I was like not unsnipeable, but I could always like find more options if things did get sniped. So yeah, let's talk about the next round in round 8. So, like I said, this was a free draft, and I can't really blame the admins for doing this, but in the free draft, it does make a lot of sense when you're looking at the Excel doc to order things in alphabetical order in different columns. That like, duh, like right? That just makes sense. The problem with that is there's a lot of things that kind of go unnoticed because like it's not ordered in an order of like how good things are, and as well like with new toy syndrome, obviously everyone wants to use the new things, but there's also just like a lot of filler surrounding a lot of Pokemon. Like to give an example, okay, we're back. I messed something up, but to give an example, the round where I took Mega Gardevoir, Tapu Lele was actually still available. So because of two things, the terrain nerf, terrain only boosts 1.3 times, and the terrain can get defog now, and along with the fact that Lele lost access to mostly Hidden Power Fire, but I guess just Hidden Power in general, meant I did have a choice there to take Gardevoir and Lele. I consciously chose Gardevoir because of the better speed, and I just think Gardevoir provides much better utility. Basically, the only thing Lele gets out of utility is Taunt, but this can still get Encore. It still gets all. I forgot to mention this is post Pokemon Home, so all of the good move sets, or like all of the good move tutor moves that everything learned from the previous generation, we are allowed to use. So like the big one was obviously get Roost, but Weavile gets Knockoff. Like, imagine Weavile without Knockoff. Who would draft that? But so because of that, everything learns Toxic now. Because trust me, I played in a Galar only tour, and things not getting Toxic is just fucking stupid. So yeah, like this thing gets like both or all three of Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Thunder Wave now. Like, I just thought Gardevoir's utility was way more valuable than like the raw breaking power that Lele provided. But even then, I think the breaking power is the same with the Psychic Terrain nerf, and then like the Pixelate with Hyper Voice, just with the higher special attack. Anyways, I'm rambling on. So the point is, Lele didn't go till round 3 here, and also Mega Latios went in round 7. Just to give perspective on the whole like alphabetical list thing. So when I noticed that if I'm looking at my team, I definitely need more on the aspect of physical breakers, and in my opinion, I would like another rocker, because right now all I have is Infernape and Nidoqueen, and I would like another one. So when I saw Mamoswine there, I thought, oh, well, that should not be there at this point. So I quickly snatched that up, because this thing kind of fits everything that I need. Secondary grounds are definitely not needed anymore, again, with the whole hidden power being gone. But like Mamoswine was just like way too good in this slot to pass up. It was quite literally exactly what I needed. The thickness is real with this Mamoswine. I really don't understand why Showdown, like, Mamoswine's clearly a physical attacker, and look at the attack stat. You obviously want max attack IVs. Anyways, that's just dumb. But yeah, Mamoswine was exactly what I was looking for. I'm glad I have it. Everyone knows what Mamoswine does. So round 9 comes along. If you notice the rest of my draft, I don't exactly have a fun time breaking through bulky waters. So what I mean, like everyone, what's the solution to that? You get your electric type. The problem is, like I've been repeating, hidden power's gone now, so trying to draft electrics is like way tougher. Not trying to draft electrics, but like the stock on electric types went way down, which is really disappointing to me, because I absolutely love electric types. But this one was still there. I still wanted something just to, again, break bulky waters, because my team looks like it has trouble doing that now. Funnily enough, well, also, there's a really big speed gap here. It's like quite literally from Dragapult at 142 all the way down to Infernape at 108. So I wanted to have something in between there, just to like fill it just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be that much. But also, funnily enough, I've had this Pokemon before on the same team as Infernape, and I really hated it. So I ended up getting Raikou, and like, I don't know. This is definitely going to be different, because like at first, in previous generations, I was like, why would you ever draft Raikou over Jolteon? The speed on Jolteon is way better. Like, the bulk that Raikou has, like, does not make a difference. They're both going to get 2 KO'd by ground attacks. Like, why would you ever draft Jolteon over this? Everyone always told me that it was always because Raikou could Calm Mind. I didn't agree with that in previous generations, because, like, why do you need your fast electric to Calm Mind? All you needed to do was Volt Switch around and have, like, one coverage move. But now, Jolteon, and to an extent Raikou, they had actually very similar coverage. They both lost both Hidden Power, and Signal Beam is also gone. So they both lost coverage, and yeah, now I can definitely agree that Raikou Calm Minding is definitely a reason to take Raikou over Jolteon. Which is really sad, because Jolteon was probably one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the previous generation, and it's not particularly close. But yeah, Raikou, I'm sure it'll be fine. Unfortunately, no Z, which, yeah, a lot of people thought that was weird that I ran Z on Raikou, but, like, you can't break shit otherwise. Like, I don't know, I just thought Z on Raikou made a lot of sense, but unfortunately that's not a thing, so I'm gonna have to stick with boosting items. I don't know, everyone knows what Raikou does. The only thing that I will say is I think Vinku sets get a little bit better, like Sub, Protect, Toxic, and then I guess Thunderbolt. They probably get a little bit better just because, like, pressure's a real thing now that Raikou has. But yeah, I've rambled enough about Raikou and how much that I think it's very mediocre. Now, looking at this team, I knew what I wanted. I only have 2 picks left. I knew exactly what I wanted in the last round, and so, like, I was basically unsnipeable on it, and I'll get into why that is in the last round. But yeah, so looking at what I wanted in the second last slot, I had literally no idea. I had a lot of thoughts of what I was looking for, and like every single time I thought of something, I went, well, if I get this, then I'm like way too weak to this type, and if I get this, then I'm way too weak to that type, and it just kind of went out the window. So I eventually just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna take something that looks fun, and like just something, basically like one of the things that like I definitely thought was like, if you look at my team, I'm kind of weak, not like terribly weak since I do have Dragapult, but I'm kind of weak to bulky psychics since my dark type is like relatively passive. Like the only reason Mandibuzz isn't passive in the first place is just because it gets U-turn, and that's not really going to help with bulky psychics. So I just wanted something that looked like a lot of fun. Also, if you haven't noticed, everything in here is like in a very similar speed tier. So I wanted something to try to break up that speed clump that I'm building up. So I ended up taking Crawdon with this pick, and I'm really loving Crawdon. The new Phil Swift, unfortunately, not really, unfortunately, I usually name my Diggersby's Phil Swift, but since I've last used Diggersby, Big Chungus has become a real thing, so I mean, there's not really a more fitting nickname for Diggersby. So yeah, this is going to be the new Phil Swift, and I'm super happy to have Crawdon. I drafted it only once. I never used it in a game. I ended up dropping it for, I believe I dropped it for a regular Kyurem. But yeah, I'm really happy with Crawdon. It gives me a lot of things. Like I now have another priority user along with Mamoswine and Infernape, so I have a little bit more leeway on speed control, and then obviously just like adaptability, Crabhammer and Knock. I was just gonna wreck things. I'm loving with this Crawdon pick, and I'm really glad I got it. So now looking at the last pick, if you haven't noticed, I'm missing a very important type in draft format. Like I know a lot of people are kind of the opinion, no, you don't have to follow the traditional like Fairy, Dragon, Steel, Fire, Water, Grass cores. I kind of disagree. Especially in this generation. Like before, a lot of people were saying you don't need fire types because you can just get away with fire type coverage. Now, like with Hidden Power Fire gone, like you absolutely need a fire type in my opinion. But yeah, the other thing that I don't agree with is you absolutely need a steel type. And if you notice, I haven't drafted one yet. So I kind of knew, like I was looking throughout this whole draft, I was looking at the steel types available and what I wanted. Obviously, my absolute first choice would have been Skarmory. I probably would have taken it in one of these slots, and at that point, I probably would have had to settle on the Darmanitan. But unfortunately, it got taken. And yeah, so I was looking through the rest of the steel types available, and one not caught my eye. Someone suggested Klefki to me, and originally I was like, I don't know about it, but then I actually like looked back and thought, you know, this thing actually complements a lot of Dragapult's weaknesses like really well. Barring the ghost weakness, Klefki resists literally all of Dragapult's other weaknesses. So I'm actually quite happy with this. It like just on that sense. And then at the same time, this does provide a lot of team support in like Prankster Thunderwave, Prankster Spikes, Prankster Defog. It does give me the third remover, so I don't again, I'm not forced to spin on this every week or defog on this every week. And then as well, providing screens, obviously. So like I can be like Calm Mind Raikou and have screens. I could be like Swords Dance or Dragon Dance Crawdon, Calm Mind, Mega Gardevoir, the variety of Infernape setup options. Like there's a ton of things that definitely enjoy screen support from Klefki. The reason why I said I was unsnipeable on this, even though this was a free draft, was just that everyone else already had a steel type. They're like obviously Klefki is usually one of those like secondary steel types that you draft in conjunction. But in that case, like there was still a few steel types that I was comfortable with taking. The biggest one, in my opinion, being Copperajah. I actually don't know if Empoleon got drafted. There's actually a chance that it didn't get drafted, so like I could have taken that if I really wanted to. If Fortress was also there, again, like I'm not too sure if Fortress's stock goes up. Like yes, Hidden Power's gone, but at the same time, it's still pretty slow and can be easily taunted. But that was an option I was considering. But yeah, anyway, I got Klefki. I'm really happy about it. And yeah, that is the entire draft for the Toronto Razor Leafs Season 6 Poison Point Division in the DGBA. Let me know what you guys think of the team down in the comments section below. Tell me what you think I could have gotten, or like something that maybe I missed that you think would have fit this team a little bit better. I'm really happy that I at least got Dragapult. A little unfortunate that I only got one new Pokemon, but at the same time, when I knew I was getting Dragapult, my priority was definitely trying to make Dragapult as best as it could be, as opposed to just drafting a bunch of new Mons. But yeah, I'm rambling now. Week 1 will be going. The Week 1 battle video will be going up 1 week from whenever this goes up. Unfortunately, because of the way my league schedule is working, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up being in 3 leagues at one time, which is really unfortunate because I literally, before I took my hiatus, I literally just started doing 2 at a time, and it was like, that was like a pretty fair balance. 3, I don't know, I guess we'll see. But either way, I would like to upload all 3 because I have this, which is like the first one. It's kind of looking like Hive is going to start up again. I would like to upload that. And then, of course, UPA is going to start up in February, which will be a little bit later, but I definitely want to upload UPA. And yeah, so anyways, because I'm going to be in 3 leagues at once, I'm unfortunately going to be doing hybrid videos for all of them. I would love to do like separate team builders. I kind of enjoy those better. I can get a little more in-depth on things. But I just honestly don't think I'll have the time. It's a lot of work for putting into team builder videos that not a lot of people will watch, unfortunately. But yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling now. Week 1's against Dilla. Again, that battle will be up 1 week from whenever this goes up. And yeah, keep your guys' eyes out on the channel next week for when the week 1 battle goes live. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.